Welcome back to Close Mouth Video. My name is Chris, and this is your WandaVision episode 8 review. And I am absolutely losing my shit. I'll give you a chance to step away if you clicked on this by accident. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1. The Scarlet Witch. Oh my gosh. I had what some on the internet would call a nerdgasm, I guess, when I heard those words. And I was really hoping that I would hear those words, and I thought I would hear those words eventually. And they came, in such a great way. Chaos magic, white vision, Agatha Harkness in her full crazy witch, I won't say that other word, form. So this episode served as kind of, there was speculation that there was going to be some type of flashback episode. Not necessarily in this sense, I don't think, but basically we open the episode, and if you haven't read the comics, Agatha Harkness is from the Salem witch trials. She's been alive for 10,000 years, really. But in this, I guess they had her as a witch in, I think it said 1673, the Salem witch trials in Massachusetts. And she kills, I guess, her whole coven, including like the woman in front of her, so when you see it, they're all like hitting her with this beam of energy, and then she kind of like turns all of their beams from blue to purple, and they start getting like sucked out of their life force. So it was kind of like she was feeding on her magic, on their magic, kind of like the shark commercial in WandaVision episode 6, I believe. I want to say it was 6, with the Yo Magic episode, or with the Yo Magic commercial. And so then the main woman, which starts shooting Agatha, and she's much stronger, and you start seeing this like crown come on her, which vaguely looked like Scarlet Witch's headpiece costume. So that to me was like, okay, what's going on there? Agatha takes care of her pretty easily. And then they continue on to kind of where the last episode let off. So it was Agatha, Wanda in the basement, weird area in Westview, and she explains kind of what's going on. Wanda can't use her powers. She's in this like area that's filled with these ruins that are magical in certain different ways, and Agatha starts asking Wanda like, "How'd you do it? I need to know how you did it." So then they go back. They go back all the way to when Wanda was a kid, and I think we all knew that bomb was coming through the wall at some point in that little thing, and it seems like they were happy, and they actually explained the whole sitcom thing with Wanda being a big fan of Dick Van Dyke when she was a kid, and sitcoms in general, which come back in a other flashback later on. But for this one, it was Wanda and her parents and Pietro, and the bomb comes through the wall, and you see that, she says, "Oh, the bomb was defective. We stayed there for 2 days." And is that true, or did she affect it? And then Agatha does something interesting here. She says, "Okay, you're just a little witch who, doesn't know her powers yet and got lucky." So then we flash forward to Strucker and Age of Ultron, when Wanda got her powers through the when we believe she got her powers through the Mind Stone. And this scene to me was so beautifully done. They had her experimenting. They said, "Well, no one survived this experiment. Why are we doing this again? Blah, 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 blah," whatever. There was the kind of good cop, bad cop. There's the good scientist and the bad guy that just want the results. So basically the staff, the scepter, as they called it, I believe in Avengers 1, that Loki used, that had the Mind Stone in it, basically floated towards her, well, the blue part of it, and cracked open, and it was this awesome scene, and you have the Mind Stone staring at her, and obviously, I hope you've seen the episode, this like figure starts like kind of floating down, and an angelic feel to it, and well, it looks a lot like Scarlet Witch's silhouette from the comics. Headpiece, same like everything else, I guess, but the headpiece was prominent. So that was really exciting. I was like, oh shit, where are we going with this? So then, flash forward one more time, we go to Wanda is now in Avengers Tower with Vision, and she's watching Home Improvement, I believe, and he sits with her, and they have this amazing thing. And Vision's lines, the writing here was incredible. Vision saying, I can't quote it word for word. I'm just gonna say that now. I have to go back and watch it again. But he basically sits there and talks about grief and how grief really, he's never felt it. So what is grief? And it's really just the perseverance of love, basically through tragedy. So, Agatha is standing there and she's like, oh geez, like being pretty sarcastic. And she's putting Wanda through all these little trials and things, and she has full control at this point. And we have one more kind of memory, I guess. So I said one more, but there's one more, which is where Wanda goes to Sword headquarters. Now, this is something that a lot of people have thought about, and I really did not think that Wanda just broke in there and stole Vision's body. And she didn't. So she went in, welcomed in by the director, who, is he Mephisto? Because he gave me a lot of Mephisto vibes here. He's like, oh, you can bring Vision back to life, like nudging her along. And basically he shows her that they're working on him, like, you can't take, he's $3 billion or $1 trillion worth of vibranium. You can't take Vision. Are you kidding? So she kind of says goodbye to him, leaves, finds a note in her car, which I guess was from Vision. Just break our hearts more, Marvel. And it takes her basically, and it says to grow old in V with a dot, and it's a location of a house, I guess, a plot of land in Westview, New Jersey that he bought. And oh my gosh, seeing Scarlet Witch fully let out everything, and she builds the house, and then she expands it, blows it up, and then the final thing that she builds is Vision. And then that scene from the trailer where they both like come up and look at each other, and then they sit down, basically end scene, I guess, and you see the real Wanda and then Agatha in the stands clapping for her. And that's the point where she just goes bravo, and then it cuts down and you hear Speed and Billy and Tommy, the kids are like, Mom, help, help, help. So Wanda, you see her now back in Agatha's house. She runs outside, and Agatha has, I guess, figured it out. So her mission this whole episode was, how did you do it? How did you do it? How did you do it? I don't understand. And she basically says, oh, you were just a little nothing, and you didn't even know about your powers. Kind of, she alludes to all this. I can't quote word for word, and it would have all died on the vine if it wasn't for this intervention in this like thing that came along, basically, which I guess was the Mind Stone at this point. But and then she drops the bombshell, which was okay, 2 bombshells really, because like, if you know anything about the comics here, I'll try to explain a little bit. But when Agatha stands there, and she's holding Tommy and Billy by their throats, kind of with her magic, and she's in her full getup and looks awesome. And when she says, Wanda, this is chaos magic. So one of the things, chaos magic is what Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, uses in the comics. There are different types of magic. So her chaos magic is different from the magic that Agatha is using, and the dark magic that Agatha is using is different from like what Doctor Strange does, and is different from like what those other witches did in the thing that led off this episode, the flashback of Agatha's origin. So there's a lot of different types of magic. Chaos magic being extremely strong, but also very unpredictable, and having different properties to it. I won't go too into that. We can do another video if people really want to see that. So she drops the chaos magic, and everybody that read the comics or knows about the comics is like, oh my gosh. And she says, to do what you did, basically, and this means only one thing. And like I said, I have to go back and watch this episode again. I really want to right now, but I have to put this out for you guys as soon as I can. So she says, this can only mean one thing. Chaos magic, this power, I thought you were a myth. Most people did, whatever. But you must be the Scarlet Witch. I'm so happy. There's a part of my heart that was so happy when she said the Scarlet Witch. Oh my gosh, I lost it. I was just like, yes. And then I'm assuming that that vision thing, no pun intended, that she had with the Mind Stone that looked like the Get Up, she'll become that next episode. She'll embrace that fully. And Agatha said she's very dangerous because she's the Scarlet Witch, which is interesting because Agatha doesn't really care too much about um, people's lives, I guess. We haven't seen her really kill anybody except the people that were trying to kill her because she did something bad. Um, and they haven't they've alluded to her doing something bad with her magic, but what did she do? Did she make a deal with Dormammu in the Dark Dimension for that power? Like, what's his name? Sidious, something Sidious in Doctor Strange 1. Did she make a deal with Mephisto, or did she do something with Nightmare? Who knows? Maybe we'll see next episode. I hope next episode is long. Oh my gosh, 45 minutes to an hour, please. This episode was longer, but it was still only like 37 or 38 minutes, I think. And then another comics moment. You can't shut off the credits ever. Do not trust Marvel when it comes to credits. There's something called White Vision, which in the comics is exactly the same thing that happened in this. And so White Vision is when the government takes Vision's body after he gets killed, takes it apart, puts it back together, takes it apart, puts it back together, and they basically reassemble Vision. And he comes back, but he doesn't have his memories or his feelings or anything, emotions, anything like that. Which technically they say like he doesn't really have emotion in certain areas before, you know, just because he's a robot, but obviously he has feelings in Marvel because he falls for Scarlet Witch, and he is a part Tony Stark, he is a part Bruce Banner, he is a part of all these different beings, which Ultron and Jarvis, being the robotic ones, are only one way, and Ultron even had feelings at one point also. So crazy, White Vision is here because they took the drone that Wanda sent out of the thing, and it was still like, you know, red, and they used her energy to power him up, and he opens his eyes and he's all white and a little bit of blue tint, and oh my gosh, so I guess that's the villain that Wanda is gonna have to fight against. It's gonna be Photon, Monica Rambeau, and the Scarlet Witch, Wanda, ooh, the chills, versus, I guess, Vision, White Vision, Bad Vision, and Agatha Harkness. Now, my question is how does the Vision in the Westview, the one that she created, how does he unlock people or have any type of power, and how does he know any different than the other people know? How does he go against what she wants if he's just an imagination thing? One little tidbit that Agatha said is you're someone who could just create, you know, this creation magic that you do is like something that's out of this world, whatever she says, however wording she puts it. So does she actually bring a version of Vision back to life? And when she was putting him together, it wasn't red, it was yellow, like the Mind Stone. So did she like split her power somehow, or give energy? Like, I don't understand. But we've seen that the Vision that she created can't leave Westview. So what exactly is going on there? And I'm so excited for next week. I wish we could watch it now. I really, really do. I mean, I was exhausted going into watching this episode because, like I said, I watch these at 3 a.m. on a day before I go to work at 9 a.m. and I was just like dreading it. Not watching it, of course, but you know, staying up and all that and waking up early. So worth it. So worth it. Let me know what you know. Let me know what you guys think. I am at a loss for words. I am so excited. I 10 out of 10 on this episode for WandaVision. as someone who knows a bit about the comics, I'm not going to pretend to be some type of expert, but I do know a bit, and I have read a bit. This episode was just phenomenal. I'd love to. So I wish I had Paul here to be that opposite side of the coin, someone who hasn't really read the comics as much, to tell me how it went for him, because obviously some of these reveals are not. You're not going to really get the full impact of them, like White Vision or Chaos Magic or whatever. But yeah, I think Hayward might be Mephisto still. That might still be there, but I think he's probably just a dick. And he was just trying to see the influence is what it makes me feel like he might be Mephisto. But I'm just gonna go away with the whole Mephisto thing. I think he's just a dickhead who wanted Wanda to, bring Vision back to life, but for his own government needs. I love this show so much. Hush, gang. Close your mouth.